What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in here live on Beaufort Zone as we got a good one here tonight. Top 25 matchup. The Bluffton Lady Bobcats traveling all the way across town to take on the Beaufort High Lady Eagles, and the Eagles' name fits as they've been soaring high 4-1 in region play, starting off in the bottom of that top 25, climbing all the way up to number 6 there, right behind May River and Bishop England right at number 4. So a tough region competition, and they've been playing fair very well. First year head coach here as well for the lady Eagles here. Bluffton on the first serve of the night. Dennison sets to the outside, a strong hit. Back row goes, and a kill on the outside. That's number 14. That's Erin Crosby, who's worked her way into the rotation starting lineup here for the Lady Eagles. And that's Dennison on the serve, gets down, grabs the dig on that one. The Lady Bobcats trying to rally to get there. And a hit super far to the outside there as Carson Crosby tried to hit that one. That evens it up there, 1-all. Actually, that was called into the back row, so Crosby grabs herself a kill. Apologize, ladies and gentlemen. So 2-0 goes the Lady Eagles here, opening it up. Dennison on the serve, and an ace for Allie Dennison. Gonna save that one to add that one to the highlights later. Allie Dennison and the star players on this Lady volleyball team. In the set for Walsh, going to Clark in the block. Up front, gonna land out of bounds. Smiley and Carson Crosby was there on the outside to give the Lady Bobcats their first point here. Smith on the serve for the Bobcats. Set, and a little bit of communication, a little bit too far over the head of Lee. 2-2, something they'll work on later here throughout this match. And sometimes it happens, it's set, a little confusion. Are they going inside and outside, and just a little bit off there, and that happens no matter what level there. Popped up, Crosby set back Dennison. Crosby fires again there. And there's Calzadilla coming in for some fire. And there's Calzadilla. You see her back up, get ready, get in motion. 1, 2, and up in the air and off. Back to action here. It's 4-3, correct score here. Bobcats, Lady Bobcats with the lead. Scoreboard is acting a little slow there. Now it jumps to 5. But it is 5 now after that play right there. So 5-3, Lady Bobcats with the lead. And Crosby tried to come in with some fire there, rocking the lavender shoes, and the block is there. And the Lady Bobcats keep on rolling up 6-3, trying to play region spoiler. Smith on the serve there into the arms of Couch. And right down the middle, and Dennison catches him off guard with a little bit of dump as they didn't see that one coming. 3-4 closes the lead to 2. And the chase is on for the Lady Eagles. And the serve almost winds up in the aces. That bounces off the arms of Folda. Dennison up. Crosby taps that one over. Smith picks it up. Walsh. Clark tries to get it into the corner. And she was aiming for the outside. No one was there. It was a great decision. It was a great move. Just her accuracy was a little bit off there, and it cost her. She had the right mindset there, just couldn't hit it. And Jones tried to fire one down really quickly there. She has a quick strike, does Jones. And the game's the set's tied here all at 6. And that's the one thing I know about Jones. She has those good late hands. Like, she gets up in there, she plays, and then when she goes to swing or go up for a block, it's really fast. It's almost like a snake bite as fast as Jones gets a piece of it, but she's not going to get a piece of that one. 7-6, and that's the Lady Eagles with the lead here. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, if you are watching, leave us a comment there in the comment section. Keep us company here throughout this match there. Talk about some things you might see. Give you expertise, some insights. Keep it a little bit company. One-man broadcast as per usual. Back to the basics this year. 8-6. There's Crosby, younger sister of Carson Crosby, both on the court in the starting lineups here tonight. There's Aaron on the serve. Walsh tries a nice sneak dump backwards there. That's the first time I've ever seen that one. And then Graves was able to make the save there for the Lady Eagles. And Calzadilla, awkward shot there, tries to go towards that bottom line there. You can't get it, and they are starting to pull away, does the Lady Eagles. A little bit of what looked like an exciting start, turned it into a little bit of a slow run there. And now they're back on top on the way. Jones taps that one, and that one goes all the way out. Crosby on the serve. Walsh going back row to Smith. She's got the power, and Lee gets the block up at the net. And that's what they're going to use her for right there. She gets her hands up. Excellent front row player. Pops up, gets the block, and from distance too on the hit from Maya Smith. Walsh, Calzadilla, and there goes that fire of hers. Been looking to get it off there and connect, and she's going to get a couple of those here tonight throughout at least the minimum of 3 sets there. Hopefully we get a little bit of long one. Region competitions, you want to see these go to 5, right? Fighting it out, battling it out, trying to find position here. And they got to go on a roll if you are Bluffton, already losing to May River and Bishop England. And that's Anna Marie Mateo getting a hit or kill on the outside there, 8-11. And now the chase starts for the Bobcats. Both mascots Predators in their own right. Crosby having to come for that one underhanded there. There's almost a error there, and a little bit of play at the net, and the soft touch from Clark lands a point for the Lady Bobcats. Fold on the serve. This time they do try to go to Lee. Had to hit that one a little bit backhand. It was a little bit too far behind. And Smith gets killed from the back row. Excellent player for the Lady Bobcats. And they're going to need some more of her tonight. Like I said, I mentioned, last week watching her play, how well she's played, through these first 2 games, and an ace for the Lady Bobcats as they tie this one up here at 11 here. So they're going to need her some more tonight, especially if they're going to get out of this, especially second place in the region, Beaufort, to be able to handle this. But I'm excited to see them play and, get back over here to watching Beaufort play. So, change into the lineup as well. I can already tell different starting lineup from the last time I seen them play against Battery Creek twice earlier in the season. And the fire is up, the energy's changed, the crowd is a lot bigger as this team has been on the roll. They were playing a little bit of Sandstorm at the beginning of the game there, firing it up 4-1. And you could tell the difference in the energy when the team is winning and losing, and the confidence there, the home environment that they have right now. Sarah Anderson, that's a little jump serve, but the Lady Bobcats send it back, make that 12-14 here. Really tough fought first set. No timeouts called by either team. Coach Armistead and Coach Krimmerein. Clark on the serve. Anderson pops it up. They go to Byrne, and she's effective in the middle, and they're going to call a net violation there on Calzadilla. And the service is going to return to the Lady Eagles. That's going to be Crosby out, and Camille Giblin, she's going to be in. 15-13, Temps over the net. Well played, Miss Camille. And I always talk about how tough it is to play the ball off of the net, man. That is a hard situation to be able to do. And then she barely gets one over on her first service attempt, and then she sends that one over to the concession stand. And Calzadilla fires one way back over there. Calzadilla and Mateo out. We got Gutierrez and Bailey Cox in for the Lady Bobcats. And that's Graves on the serve. 2-point game. Maya Smith sends one to the hardwood. Nice diving dig there and quick hands on the backside there as Olivia Byrne sends that one back to the court, and she just comes out of nowhere like a rocket. You see she comes almost darn near from the three-point line there to be able to make that play. And I'm off mark. Here's 18-15. Apologize. Got to keep up with the score. Exciting game here. Clark in the lead going for it at the top, getting played off the net, and that's going to call 4 touches on the Bobcats, make it 19-15. And we got our first timeout by Coach Armistead as there's a 4-point lead right here about to go into the second half of the set. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back here on Beaufort's Own when we return. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, out of the timeout break. 4-point game, a 4-point deficit if you're the Lady Bobcats. And the timeout called by Coach Armistead. Let's see if it pays off here. Quick tip back down by Lee. Clark able to handle it. Little miscommunication from Folda. No one was on the outside. And that's going to be 20, so not what you want to see when you come out of a timeout break if you're the head coach. And it was quite the opposite there. As just the other day, every time either team called a timeout, they got the first point coming out of the timeout break, depending on whoever called it. There's Crosby, strong arm that one, too far, trying to go to that near corner. I'm going to give service back to the Lady Bobcats. And shout out to Ms. Kuzmanoff joining in. I believe Ms. Kuzmanoff, over the last couple of years, I think she might be my #1 fan, ladies and gentlemen. She tunes in a lot. If it has Eagles on it, she's gonna be there. She doesn't just watch the grandkids. She watches pretty much everything. I'll see her chime in all the time. She watches some spare volleyball games as well, and it's always a pleasure to know she's in the chat. Dennison, speaking of grandkids, on the serve, and she grabs an ace there. As that one goes off the fingertips, the infamous T sign being thrown up by the line judge. That's my score bug not updating here. 22-16 is the score. If you guys just bear with me here. There we go. And that's going to make it 23. Another ace for Dennison here. If I'm not mistaken, I was trying to stare at that, get that scoreboard squared away. 23-16, 23-16. Dennison sends another and just over the back line to put the game back to 6. Smith on the serve for the Lady Bobcats. Nice serve, low serve over the net there, set outside, going to Carson Crosby, popped up by Smith. And no one to get the next touch. That's going to make it 24, and that's going to be set point here for the Lady Eagles. And that's Aaron Crosby on the serve. That's Clark. Anderson pops it up. Dennison to Carson Crosby, and she's going to get the kill on the outside. And that's going to be 25. And the Lady Eagles going to take set number 1, ladies and gentlemen, for the lead here in this match tonight. Best 3 out of 5 when we return here on Beaufort's Own. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. After the end of set number 1, the Lady Eagles winning that one 25-17. Dennison on the serve, the block up front. Nice fire. Calzadia and the block. Carson Crosby and Samaya Lee up there. She gets one and fires one down to the court. Samaya Lee work in the middle there for the Lady Eagles, and they get to point 1 of the set number 2. Dennison on the serve. Ace going into the net. I mean, serve, it's an ace into the net. Two things that don't go together. But her serve into the net. So that's going to run in her run there at the line here to start this set. Evens it all 1-1. Clark on the serve. Set behind her to Crosby. And the kill goes down to the court after bobbling around a couple times. And Aaron Crosby. And I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Crosby is going to be a heck of an athlete here for Beaufort High School. I saw her when she came in, as a freshman, and I was watching her play, and saw her a little bit in volleyball. Then I saw her during basketball season come in and make some plays. And I saw the last name, so you see the genes a little bit in the Crosby family, and then you see her make some plays, and I'm kind of like, all right, she looks pretty good, pretty darn early. And here she is in the starting lineup for a team that's second in region as a sophomore. And there's Carson Crosby. Calzadilla to the back line. And speaking of back lines, there she is behind the line for the serve. Almost came away the ace. No, she will come away with the ace as Anderson able to get under it but can't get it to someone for hit number 2. Ties this one up at 3. Calzadilla sends over another. Anderson able to get that one in safe to Dennison. Graves hits that one over the net but going to be out as it goes past the marker there. So 4-3, Lady Bobcats. Goes behind, Carson Crosby. Popped up by Calzadilla way up in there. And tied this one up at 4. Remember, it's the Lady Bobcats that had the lead at the beginning of the first set before the Lady Eagles went on a run. Tied up here. See what we got here. Anderson on the serve. Gutierrez down on the ground, the court to save that one. Anderson can't get it the second time. Lady Bobcats stay with the lead. And an ace right there for Gutierrez as Anderson can't get to it. Lady Bobcats with the serve. Gutierrez sends another. Maya Smith tips it back. Crosby in the air. Kennedy tried to go to the back line. Way out. Gutierrez saved it. And it's going to wind up being a kill, but a point for the Lady Eagles. And look how far out she saved that ball there. And wind up costing her team a point. But they say if you're going to mess up, you mess up full speed. And an ace going to be to the back row for Giblin there. And I apologize. We're all tied at 6-6. If you've been with me since the beginning of the first set, you know my scoreboard might be glitching on me just a little bit here tonight. So bear with me on the score. Outside, strong hit off of 2 touches there. That's Walsh going to get the kill on the outside. Going to keep the lead in the Lady Bobcats' favor. And Walsh out, Waddell in. Crosby on the dig, inside, the hit to Kennedy. And she gets one on the court, a kill for the night. Oh, 7s on the board. Graves on the serve, almost grabs an ace there. Nice dig there by Folda. And a hit on the outside. Lady Bobcats keeping their lead intact. Every time the Lady Eagles get close, they strike in and pounce. And they can't make the play at the net. I think if Kennedy had a chance to hit that one, it would have went under the net by the time she got to it based off the angle there. Smith again on another serve. That one goes over the line. Back within the 1-point set. Tips over the net, and that is the second ace of the night that has been played off the net. That time it was Claire Hovis on the serve that time, but playing the ball off the net, always tricky. Hovis sends another one. Folda up in the air. That's Waddell. Graves tried to dump one in there quick. They go to Lee, and Lee hits one to the court. Folda can't slide far enough, and the Eagles take the lead here 10-9 as we get into the double digits here at set number 2. Hovis. Waddell going to Smith in the back row. There's Dennison. She's getting a hit there. Far corner and a kill. Hovis. A lot of height on that one, but Smith can't handle it. And the lead now going to 3. Hovis. Serve. Smith got it that time. Waddell Jones. And Jones just skying up in the air. And you just see that little whip there at the last second. And I'm not talking about the ponytail there. Foda on the serve there. Anderson sets that one way outside. And Dennison tried to save it, but it's going to be too late. There's going to be 4 touches there. 12-11. And the crowd chanting a little bit as Foda sends over the serve. Crosby pops that one up in the air. Barely saved right there by Giblin. Rough play. Crosby taps one back over and hits the logo for a kill. Dennison on the serve there. Clark sends it back in a miscommunication between her and Couch, and that's going to happen. Couch, a freshman, another young player here on this team that is contributing heavily. Nice serve. Anderson slides on the floor, but can't get it to stay in play there. That's going to be an ace there for the Bobcats. And Clark. Tied at 13. Clark for the lead on the serve and into the net. There goes Clark, opposite side. There goes Walsh. Try to tip that one. They're going to call a net violation, net error there on Walsh, and she looks around confused there. So that's going to put the Lady Eagles up by 2. Crosby on the serve, and Walsh, her dig goes into the net. Clark tried to play it up the net. Smith tried to get touch number 3, but a little confusion there. And they go up by 3 and force another timeout here. The first one by Coach Armistead in this set, but second of the match. We'll take a break, ladies and gentlemen. When we return, a 3-point game. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, after the timeout break. The serve by Crosby and sitting right back into her area for the kill. Well, the Lady Bobcats there. And that's Calzadia. You can always count her in for a couple of kills there. Coming in high speed. She almost got an ace there. The dump from Dennison saved by Calzadia. Good job by her getting on the floor. And there's Graves on the outside. She gets above the net on that one. The Smith pops one and ricochets off the block. And 16-15. Some full sets being played here tonight. Graves off the net. Here we go. Calzadilla that time into the net. Anderson on the serve here into the net. And man, that net might be the defensive player and the defensive player of the game here. Cox on the serve. Dennison cross court to Graves. Graves ricochets off the block. Her hit. She grabs a kill in her stat book. It's Giblin on the serve. Clark sets one up to Walsh. And a nice save, but miscommunication as Graves didn't get under that. You see Anderson popped that up, and the jump scream, it was kind of like a, not like a frustrated scream, but like a happy, like you were there type of scream. Like that was more like a camaraderie scream right there. Not necessarily a cheer, but it was kind of like, oh, you almost had it. You were right there type of, scenario, especially when you were competing. That was a missed opportunity. Tied up here 18, but the lead breaks again. Back 19 in this one. Staying close, real nip tuck, 19-18. So still anybody set here. There goes Smith right in the circle. And they're gonna call violation there on 9. Maya Smith there at the net. So that gives BHS 20. And Waddell comes running across to get that to Clark. Clark pushes it over into the hands of Crosby. They go to Crosby. She gets the dig. They set it back to her. Goes Giblin, and she grabs a kill as that one's off the fingertips, and they go up by 3. And timeout number 2 by Coach Armistead. We'll take a break, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back here on Beaufort's Own. After the timeout break, Eagles got up to a 3-point lead, which led to that timeout after the game being within 1. All set here. Crosby sends it over 2 hands. Here comes Folder in from the back row. That's Waddell over to Jones. Quick hands. Graves able to get it up. Anderson get his back into the court off play, and Kennedy just taps that one over. They go to Smith outside. No one home. Oh, no, still alive? And no, it's going to be a carry off of the ground there. And they're going to give it to the Bobcats. We're going to try to go a little bit longer here. And they're going to say she carried that one up. Going to call the carry there. So 19 on the board for the Lady Bobcats. Smith on the serve. Crosby fires. Folder. That was a form dig if I've ever seen one. And there goes Calzadilla, pops one, and oh, Couch can't make the save. The Bobcats back within 1. And man, when I tell you this is going to be a full set, we might get to a win by 2 scenario here. There goes Smith on the serve, almost grabs an ace. Anderson on the ground for it. Dennison taps it, try to go in the soft spot. Smith was there. Waddell behind her to Clark, and oh, they target Couch once again. Set tied at 21. And now the Let's Go Bobcats cheer coming from the players on the bench there. Smith on the serve. And out. And a rough one there in the final stretch here of this set. Substitutions, a switch. That's Hovis for Kennedy. And looks like we got a timeout, Beaufort High on this one. So we'll take a break, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back here on Beaufort's Own. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, out of the timeout break. And I believe Coach Crumrine, I believe he called a timeout just to check the rotation there. Looks like he had a little bit of a question there, but got it squared away. And why not? Instead of getting a call there and blocked at the net out of the timeout break. Yeah, that's Dennison and Lee, and they got 23. That's a bar. Anyways, Claire Hovis on the serve. Foda pops it up. That's Waddell. Tries to get it over to Clark. Taps it over softly. Crosby, Hovis. Dennison tries to tap it. Calzadilla right back. Last touch by the Eagles. Makes it 22. And the libero, Kyle Foda, number 7, behind the line. Getting ready to serve. Trying to tie it up here. Hoping for ace. Crosby pops it up. Lee goes in the middle for Anderson. The libero getting hit in the front row. Anderson, Calzadilla. 23 all, ladies and gentlemen. Bobcats pouncing. Eagles soaring in. It's a set right here, ladies and gentlemen. Foda into the arms of Anderson, and no way. Ace for Kylie Foda. Libero to libero on the action there. 24-23. This could end it. Remember, 1 by 2, so they got to get this point if they want to win this set. Anderson able to pop up the serve from Foda. They go inside to Lee, and they got a net violation for number 25. And the Bobcats are going to win set number 2. Ladies and gentlemen, we're split here 1-1 when we return here on Beaufort's Own. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Start of set number 3 on the way. Tightly contested, and it starts off with the ace for the Lady Bobcats. They go up 1-0, and I tell you, it's been a tightly contested set here on both sides. 25-17 was that first set, a win by Beaufort, and then 25-23 ended by a net error on Beaufort. Evens the game, evens the match here at 1, and that one evens the set here 1-1. Dennison on the serve. And no one can get there if he can't move fast enough for the Eagles. Smith on the serve. Popped over, quick hands right there by Smith. Clark back over. And the Eagles chasing around for it, can't get it. That's 3-1. Lady Bobcats starting off with the lead once again, as they always seem to do. Crosby just taps that one over inside. They go outside to Calzadia. Can't get the footing right, taps it. Same thing for Lee, sends it back cross. There's Clark putting a little power, and off the tips of fingers, she grabs a kill. 4-1 goes the Lady Bobcats. Going outside to Carson Crosby. Nice block, able to keep it alive there, sends it right back. They go behind the Clark. Clark. Yep. And they're going to call that on 1 for the error there. So 5-1 goes Beaufort High. Smith on the serve. And that's going to be out the marker. 6-1 go the Lady Bobcats. And Coach Crumbrine going to call a necessary timeout as it's a 5-point lead. Forced to use his first timeout here early. We'll take a break, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll be right back here on Beaufort Zone. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Smith on the serve. Dennison taps it back in play, gets it back to Lee. And there goes Clark, trying to get the kill there, but the block is there. They can't get it to the court fast enough, and Beaufort grabs a point. Much needed out of the timeout break, as they have been behind the ball here in set number 3. There's Crosby on the serve, trying to get an ace. Nice dive from Folda. Calzadia, soft touch that time. Anderson goes backside to Graves. Graves fires. Folda's there once again. Smith hits it over. We're talking about some good volleyball. And there goes Graves. Folda diving in once again. Calzadia to the back row. Crosby pops it up. Graves soft touch this time, and it's going to land out. And Folda keeps them in that one. And 7-2 goes the Lady Bobcats. And the story of that volley right there was Kylie Folda diving multiple times on the court there. Once again, they go to Graves. Folda on the ground once again, but that time can't make the save or get the dig there. And 7-3, still a hole for the Lady Eagles, but a big lead if you are the Bobcats. 7-3, Anderson on the serve. Bobcats go outside to Clark, soft touch. Anderson makes her way up to get the dig there. They go to Crosby on the opposite side, and that one off the arms of Waddell goes way out for the Lady, and gives a kill for the Lady Eagles and Carson Crosby. (7-4), Anderson sends another and gets a little bit too much wind under that one. 8-4. Clark on the serve. Millie, as they call her, short for Amelia. Smith over. And Mateo and Calzadilla, like they both were going for that one. And 9-4, Lady Bobcats with the lead. Inside, as Byrne tries to get a piece. Ricochets off the fingertips there. Giblin on the serve. There's Mateo, tries to tip it there. Calzadilla tries to play the underhand off the net, struggles with it. That's 6-9. No relation to the aforementioned. And Walsh, strong hit. Anderson down onto the court for it. Hovis sends it back, but Mateo is right there with a soft tap. Puts the lead back to 4. 10-6. Calzadilla on the serve. And confusion as Giblin tries to go inside to Byrne. A little miscommunication there. And 11-6 to the Lady Bobcats. Crosby, Giblin, back row, Anderson, underhand. That's going to land out. And, man, the Lady Eagles just starting to seem like they are falling apart here. And this isn't like they're just losing, volleys here. And, they're just killing them with, the Bobcats are just hitting them with, kills and dumps and, misdirections. And these are just, you see that, the little misdirection from the set to hit there from the setter to the middle hitter there with Byrne. And then next thing you know, they hit one all the way out of bounds. They get that one over. And it's just they're chasing the ball. They can't get their feet in the right spot. And they just seems to be struggling right now here in this set. But I think the Lady Bobcats will take that one. Crosby and hits that one down the line, grabs a strong kill hit here, but still in the hunt. Bobcats feel like they think they got a wing inside the mouth right now. They're trying to pounce on some eagle feathers. Graves sends one over. Clark dig. They go to Cox, and Smith grabs a kill from the outside, and now they're starting to hit that ball and do some damage there to the Lady Eagles. Cox on the serve and an ace as Anderson goes tumbling, ladies and gentlemen. (14-6), Bobcats, and Cox serve goes into the net to return service back to the Lady Eagles. 14-9. Hovis back in, top of the rotation. This time, no good at the line for her as that one rolls into the net. 15-9. Hovis out, Byrne in, and Walsh out, Waddell in. And Lee strong in the middle. (15-10). Giblin out, Crosby in. So Dennison, Couch, Anderson, both Crosby sisters, and Samaya Lee for the Eagles. And we got Smith, Jones, Clark, Waddell, Folder. And that's a new face for me. That's Montjoy in as well. And a net error, that's going to go in favor of the Bobcats. 10-16. Smith on the serve. Dennison tries to tip. Smith, Lee at the net. Another net error. substitution. Graves for Couch. Crosby on the serve. Quick tip by Waddell trying to sneak one. Anderson looking for a call, doesn't get it. Folder back down on the ground in the back row. Calzadilla tried to get it in the block. Lee up front. Calzadilla fires, and that time it lands on the Eagles' side. And Calzadilla, she won't be stopped for too long. Folder on the serve. Anderson, low catch. Crosby up front, back and forth for Calzadilla there for a little bit. Waddell goes backside to Clark, and that's going to land out of the line there. And 17-13. Anderson on the serve. Lee out and Burn in for the Lady Eagles. Dennison tries to shoot one to the back corner. Going to be out. And it's pretty much been all Bobcats here in this set. Up by 5. Still anybody can win, but heavily favored right now if you're a betting person into the odds for the Lady Bobcats to go and take the lead here 2-1. Dennison tries to go for the dump. Clark can't get too out. She does. Smith pops it up to Folder. Nice work there by the Lady Bobcats defense. Crosby sends that way over, and it ends with a point. Nice defense there if you're the Lady Bobcats. You're the first one, 220 in this set here for the first time tonight if you're the Lady Bobcats. And the dump for Clark. Anderson was ready for it that time. Graves sends one over. Smith saves it to Clark. Goes to Walsh down. The libero Anderson picks it up. They go to Crosby. Crosby fires, going to be out. And 20 on the board for the Lady Bobcats. Clark sends it. Anderson in the air. Dennison in the middle. Burn. Ricochets off some hands. Smith up in the air. Folder winds up saving it off the line, and down it goes. Nice defense there. Once again, Lady Bobcats. And this is something I talked about. You know, I talked about like the presence of Clark, Amelia Clark on the floor, and how she's always in the right position to touch the ball. But she gets an ace right there. No defense needed. 22-13, and you can pretty much concede this set to the Lady Bobcats. But I talked about her defense and how well she plays, and 2 aces in a row. That one's out. And Clark on the roll, and that's the broadcaster jinx right there. I'm here. I was about to praise Clark for her defense and how it looks like that's rubbed off on the rest of the team because they're clicking on all cylinders. And there she goes, getting aces, Amelia Clark. And they can't even return a serve right now for the Lady Eagles. Really struggling, and it had to be somebody other than the one in the green jersey right now. And the net plays defense right there on Amelia Clark. 24-14. Giblin trying to start a run here for the Lady Eagles. 10-point comeback. Is it possible? Calzadilla fires one, gets a kill, and that's going to be 25. And set number 2 going to go to the Bobcats as they go up 2-1 here tonight in region competition. Best 3 out of 5. Set number 4 on the way when we return here on Beaufort's Own. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here on the Beaufort Zone. Set number 4 getting underway. Dennison on the serve for the Lady Eagles, who lost set number 3, and they're starting off on the losing column here on the side of the scoreboard. 1-0 the lead. Go the Bluffton Bobcats, trying to shake up some region play as they need a region win badly here tonight, and they're playing like it. Defense everywhere. Clark tries to go with the dunk, and she covers her mouth there like, "Oops, excuse me," and they send it right back. No, excuse you. Lady Eagles, that's Aaron Crosby on the serve there. Clark behind her. Calzadilla fires. Dennison just grabs a piece of it, but not enough to make a play there. Sam Calzadilla, I tell you, man, she's one of the harder hitters in the area here that I've been covering in volleyball there. Sam Calzadilla, man, she's on the roll, and a sophomore for this Lady Bobcat squad. She gets a serve there too far, but in play. Graves gets one. That one off the block of Mateo, and evens it up 2-all here. We got Anderson. We got both Crosby sisters in, Aaron and Carson. Dennison, Graves, and Kennedy. Almost the ace for Anderson. And there's Walsh hitting it over on the defensive side there for the Lady Bobcats, along with Cox, Smith, Volda, Montjoy. I believe I got everybody there. And then Jones just now subbing in. Crosby, the hit there. Montjoy pops it up. And Smith hits it there flat-footed, about middle of the court there. Graves try to get some fire once again off the block. Walsh fighting with it by herself, evens it up 3-all. The Crosby trade for Giblin. Cox and Clark subbing out for the Bobcats. 3-all, Giblin. And her serve too far, gonna be out. 4-3, Lady Bobcats. Walsh and Waddell, the substitution per usual. The serve by Waddell. Clark, quick touch there. Puts it on the floor. No one by the net there to play defense on it. 5-3. Nice serve by Waddell. Giblin sends that one over one underhand. Montjoy pops it up, gets it to Waddell, goes to Smith. Smith off the fingertips of the block. 6-3. Waddell tips one off the net. Waddell, another serve. Dennison pops that one up. Anderson set to Dennison and into the net. 8-3, go the Lady Bobcats. Another serve, this time Crosby, quick pop up there. They go to Graves. Graves, it runs into the block there, Smith and Jones. Dennison tall enough to get it over there. Smith pops it up. Waddell backside to Clark. Clark over into the arms of Anderson, the libero. They go to Kennedy, and Kennedy tries to get one to that right corner right there, or the middle of the way. Going to be out, 9-3. And another run here for the Lady Bobcats. And ace. And I'm not sure what happened. That one going off the arms of Dennison, and you hear the whistle there. That's going to force a timeout by Coach Crumrine, as the Lady Eagles are on a path to be able to lose one lose a set, lose a match here tonight. 10-3, a timeout called here. We'll take a break, ladies and gentlemen, when we return here on Beaufort Zone. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here on Beaufort Zone, and her run at the line is going to end as her serve was way too far on that service attempt. And an ace for the Eagles with Samantha Graves. 10-5, still a deficit to climb out of. There's 2 right there. 5 more to go. Graves on the serve. Smith on the dig. They go to Jones, and Jones gets the kill. Graves and Coach Couch swapping out, and Montjoy and Calzadilla on the swap for the Lady Bobcats. Smith on the serve. Couch gets the dig there. Giblin cross court to Crosby, and the block up front by Jones sends it back. Her and Clark over there double teaming it. They set it back to Clark, floats one to the court, and a kill. Smith sends over the serve. Crosby, that goes into the net. And this is what I mean, ladies and gentlemen, about those errors. There's going to be one, it's going to be an ace, but you go for the dig and no one's there by the net. No one's in the area. And those are some of the mistakes that I've been talking about that's been plaguing Beaufort High tonight. But that's all teamwork right there. It has the block up front, quick work of Jeanette Jones up front there for the Lady Bobcats. 14-5 here. A 9-point lead. Dennison fires, and that one gets by Waddell. And ladies and gentlemen, when I tell you, I don't think you guys understand how competitive this region is here in 8-4A. And a lot of times you want to think that, this is an upset and things like that. You see the swing here in this one. Beaufort trying to fight back 14-7. They're down 2-1, risking here losing the region matchup, but they're 4-1, number 6 in the state. The Lady Bobcats, 2-3 in the region and 17 in the state via Max Preps. And look at the swing in this match. The only team that has pretty much reigned supreme and ahead of everybody is Bishop England, who's only lost 1 set so far in region play. Not 1 match, ladies and gentlemen. That's 1 set. They lost 1 set to Mayriver, and they beat them 3-1. So I want to be clear. That's the only team that's ahead. But everybody else, they're fighting for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th right now. The only people you can kind of guarantee that are going to be at the bottom as of this point is Hilton Head in Colleton County. And Colleton County was at the bottom last year. It looks like they're going to be at the bottom again this year. And Hilton Head down in the bottom of the rankings. But be careful, Hilton Head, they went on that magical run for a little bit at the end of the season last year where they took win off of everybody. And Tamaya Lee sending one in the middle of the court, banging one home, 9-15. Six-point deficit. Dennison on the serve. This time it goes over the net, and she gets an ace. Allie Dennison, ladies and gentlemen. Serve back line, Allie Dennison, 2 in a row. A floater. That time Clark pops it up. Waddell gets it over Mateo. Tough dig right there for Anderson. And Crosby gets it off the fingertips. And Beaufort trying to battle back, ladies and gentlemen. 15-12. Dennison sends another. Smith pops it up. Waddell goes to Calzadilla off angle there, off axis. He hits that one backward. Crosby soft touch. Maya Smith barely gets there. Waddell backside to Clark. Into the arms of Dennison, pops it up. They go to Aaron Crosby, and down goes Foda, a kill for Beaufort High, and a timeout, ladies and gentlemen, by Coach Armistead, and we'll take a break, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back here on Beaufort Zone, back to a 2-point set when we return. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 15-13. Eagles trying to come back. Almost down to double-digit deficit there here to begin this set. They're fighting back. They're down by 2, but still got to be able to take the lead. No good as that one sails out of bounds. And I'll say this once. I said it before. I'll say it again. I'll say it once more is what I want to say. Chipping away, tying the game, getting the camaraderie is all different from taking the lead. And 14 on the board for the Lady Eagles. Still down by 2. I don't care how close you get. I don't care how many times you tie it. That lead change is completely different. And the Eagles, no matter how much they cheer, have not gotten it yet. But the Bobcats, Walsh on the hit there. Crosby pops it over. Soft touch. Smith falling in there. Gets it. Calzadilla fires into the arm of Crosby. Dennison to Crosby. Smith quick with it. Game of tips there. And that's 17. Look at the quick hands by Maya Smith, ladies and gentlemen. She just quick up. Back to you. Back to the action. Graves. That one off. Maya Smith. Nice dive there. And it's not going to be worth a nothing there. And that's 15 on the board there for the Lady Eagles. 17-15, Lady Bobcats still on top by 2, trying to make it to the end. Anderson, a little bit of fire. Montjoy up in the air, forces the play in the bleachers from Cox. Clark sends it back over the net. And here goes Sam Graves to the back corner. And a little bit of cheering there from Samaya Lee as she stands up and cheers for her team. She's fired up. Anderson, and that's going to be out. Back to a 2-point lead for the Lady Bobcats. And there we go. And almost the ace. Crosby saves it there. A little bit of miscommunication. Nice work, Smith. And the block up front. And that's for Beaufort High. 17-18. Substitution. Giblin and Crosby, the change. Cox going to sub out Foda back in for the Lady Bobcats. Giblin on the serve, and they're going to call that out. And a little bit of miscommunication. Let's see what the fans have to say about that. And that looks like that was in. He called it out. And they're going to overrule it and put it in. So tied up here at 18. Tap back and forth. Walsh and Clark for the lead. Jones gets it over. Giblin. Dennison, the block back down, Jeanette Jones. And right there, just playing high defense. You see her soaring high above the net there. 19 18. And the serve into the net ties it back up at 19. Graves on the serve. Quick, Maya Smith tries to sneak one to the left corner, a little bit of directional shot there. And that's the lead, ladies and gentlemen, for Beaufort High. 20-19, they come all the way back and take the lead. Samantha Graves on the serve. Smith gets something to Jones into the net, 21 for Beaufort High. And a timeout, ladies and gentlemen. Coach Armistead and the Lady Bobcats, as they go from up by as many as almost 7 or 8 points to now down by 2. Now they're going to talk about some things. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen, here on Beaufort's Own. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Don't beat me up. Just look back a little bit too late there. I apologize. Lady Eagles up by 2 here. And a lot of confusion at the net. It's going to be 4 touches on the Eagles. In 2021, Lady Bobcats back within 1. They are not. Outside, there goes Crosby. Crosby into the arms of Folda. There goes Waddell, gets it over to Calzadilla. Soft touch instead of the power. Her and Kennedy playing. That's going to be out, ties it back up at 21. And Maya Smith, she's the right one to have behind the line. She's the confident one here on the team, or at least boisterously. Out loud there. Giblin backside goes to Dennison. Dennison hits that one over. Smith pops it up. Calzadilla into the arms. Anderson struggled to handle that one. Crosby the block. Jones, we're going to land out. 22 for Beaufort. What a finish. And I got to mark this set down as one of the best sets that I've seen in a while. And Hovis, her serve goes in the net, 22 all. I mean, I think some of the best volleyball I've seen, like I said, to be fair, state championship game, May River and Pickens, those were some great sets there to be had, especially set number 3 doing that championship with the comeback from Pickens to win that one. But 22 all here, this one, it goes down, and I got to start remembering some of these sets here to kind of play back. Couch saves that one in the back corner. Giblin pops it up. Anderson sends it over. There goes Folda on the dig. Waddell Calzadilla winds up in the lead back for the Lady Bobcats. And up, and they got an opportunity here trying to close it out. Here goes Folda. Folda on the serve. Crosby pops it up. Giblin to Dennison, and Dennison gets the kill, tied back up at 23. Talk about an ending, ladies and gentlemen. Dennison on the serve. They go to Calzadilla outside, misdirection, goes to Clark. Dennison, Crosby to the back line. Net violation, oh my, 24 for Bluffton. They're saying she went under. The foot stepped over. Oh my God, Red Rover, come on, over. Clark on the serve. And off balance, Anderson, Couch saves it. Dennison with the final touch to keep it in play. The dump from Clark, they're trying to chase it. And Crosby almost out there. Ooh, last second hands, there's Calzadilla, and that's 25. They win by 2, and that is the night, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my. Well, you want to talk about a match here tonight, and Bluffton comes in and wins it 3-1, desperately needed to go up 500 in region play, puts them at 3-3. Lady Eagles will tie it, or go down to 4-2. They'll still be in second, but a big win needed for the Lady Bobcats, and that tells you how competitive this region is. You're talking about 2 versus 4 here in region play. All teams are top 25, and they're top 25 worthy. And the only reason why any of them are down in the rankings is because they've played each other. So 3 losses in the region play for the Bobcats, 3-3. They'll probably climb up in the rankings here. And the Eagles, 4-2, hot start. They're still rolling. They still got the rest of their schedule up to play, but this region has not been decided, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank everybody for tuning in here on Beaufort's Own. My name is Javon Livingston, and if you enjoyed our coverage here tonight, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. As you see it go down there to the bottom of your screen there. We appreciate those viewers. We appreciate you. Thank you once again, and have a great night.